just to review real quick. Some people aren't doing the extra, need a little bit of help they need to do the problems. And so I try to show you how to do the dot notation, but very few of you use that dot notation in which to determine how many is gained or lost. So looking at your assignment and looking at questions starting on number 2, number 2 is asking how many is going to be gained by those elements. And very few people on the assignment I just gave out did some drawing of them out. So A was chlorine, and it looks like this. So the question is, how many is chlorine going to gain? 1. Okay? And very few people will write that out and take the time to do that, but it's beneficial for you to do that. Okay? So that's how you do number 2. Any questions on number 2? Draw them out, and then you see how many needs to be added, and that would be your answer. Okay? Number 4 is asking you the number of electrons lost or gained. So basically you're doing the same thing. So if I did B, group B, I would take anything in group B, and I'll just take magnesium as the example. And the question is, how many does magnesium lose or gain? How many? Loses 2. Okay? It's got to lose those 2. If we were asking about a chlorine on that, but anyway, that's what you do on number 4. Questions? Be amazed on how many people miss these type of problems. Because all you do, you draw it out, and then if it's got 3 or fewer, you lose them. And if it's got 5 or more, then you have to gain 3, 2, or 1. Or none. I don't think there's any none. No, they won't give you any of those. So the next question is it's asking you to look up the element based upon the protons. So 6A, you would look up the protons and realize that element is oxygen. And so since it has 2 more electrons than protons, you would have put oxygen, but you would make it a -2. That's what it is. It's oxygen with 2 extra electrons, so it's a -2. So that's what you do for 6. We're going to skip 8. There's some people actually on the assignment that did 8, but you didn't have to do it. Nope. Nope. You were just going in sequence. So you go 2, 4, 6, and then 10. So write the symbol for the ion in each of the following. So on this one, you look up fluorine, you write it, you realize that fluorine has 7, and it has to gain 1. So it gains that 1, and so since it gains that 1, it'd be fluorine -1. That's all you do. Okay?
This is 10.
This is 10. Does that make sense? It asks you, write the symbol for the ion for the following. Fluorine. So, here's the symbol, and there's the charge. I drew this out because I noticed it had 7 to begin with. And I needed to gain 1. Questions? I'm doing 1 from each one of these so you can double check them. Then we skip over to problem number 16. We keep on building, a little bit tougher each time. 16 is asking you, of these elements, which ones are going to tend to form, this is not the multiple choice, but there are multiple choices. And it asks you which one is going to form ionic. So ionic means that you've got to have one that's plus in value, and you've got to have one that's negative in value. So the first one we pick out is helium, which is there, located on the periodic table. And oxygen is located right here. Now we know oxygen, it's going to have to gain 2 because it's going to have to pick up 1 here and 1 here. So it's going to be, oxygen is going to be a -2. But then helium has no charge. Can't get together. Helium and oxygen can't get together. So that would be a no, or you wouldn't select that as one of your answers. So you have to go through each one of them, and you have to pick out a plus and a minus. So basically, you've got to pick one that's over here and one that's over here, because that's the combination that you're looking for. So you're looking for something in this area right here to combine with something in this area right here, because that's your plus and minuses. So you'll have to, I'll give you guys a little bit of time. I did the other class. Okay, 18 is putting together these ratios. I don't know why this is really difficult for some students to pick up, and I don't really know how to make it any simpler. I try to use some different concepts and ideas at times, but I just don't know the middle block students have. So this is a plus 3. Let's say we just have plus 3. And this is a minus 1. And we're going to add the two together. Right now, if we add the two together, what's our value? Plus 2, right? So, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take this and multiply it by something to get this to be 0. So what do I have to multiply that by to get it to 0?
0.
What would I do? Multiply it by what?
0.
Should multiply by 3, right? 3 times a minus 1 gives us a minus 3. So then if I put in 3 here, and I multiply it, and then I add it, then I come up with 0. So the question is, how many of these do you have to get rid of this plus 3 charge? You gotta have 3 of them. Gotta have 3 of these. 3 take away 1 is 2. 2 take away 1 is 1. 1 take away 1 is 0. Okay, that's all you're doing. So these all add up to 3, which matches that, and so our formula should be ALCL3. Any questions on that? That's all you do. If they're equal, then you don't do anything. You write one of each. So if they're equal, it's like an equation. This is a plus 2 and this is a minus 2. Does it equal 0? Well, yeah, it does. Or if this is a plus 3 and this is a minus 3, does that equal 0? Yeah, it does. Everything has to be found to be 0. And then 20, you take it one more step. And so on 20A, you would go, okay, I got calcium. I'm going to draw it out. Oh, there's calcium, and so it needs to lose 2, so it's going to be a plus 2. And then I do chlorine. Chlorine has 7. I know it needs to gain 1, so it does gain that 1, and it becomes a minus 1. So now I've got Ca plus 2 and Cl minus 1. What do I have to have? I got to have another chlorine. So I got to have 2 chlorines for every calcium. So that should be CaCl2. So what they want you to do is they want you to do this part and then put them together. So what they want you to do is, like for 18, find like what 18 has and then put them together. So I'll go ahead and let you guys look at that. I know that's a longer explanation, but I just felt from last period they shouldn't be missing these. It's not that difficult of a concept, okay? So going ahead and have you guys finish that up.